Hello, freak bitches.
Like from fucking deep in, it was just quivering flat out, and that feels like death. That actually it scared me because I couldn't stop. I was just fucking quivering flat out, like my core's trying to warm back up.
Yeah,
and it took me a little while to think about that because I ended up shutting myself down. I stopped myself shaking. And then I was like, you fucking idiot. That's exactly what your body's supposed to do. It's trying to warm up. And then I sort of loosened up again and it started shaking. And then I went to move this arm and this leg and they wouldn't move. Like I couldn't move them. And then I was like, oh, shit. Like as in the adrenaline. It was from that first fall, I think, or it was from the jump that I did. I don't know if I'd bruised it. I don't know if it's about nearly hypothermic. I don't know what really happened there. I just couldn't move that leg and I couldn't move this arm. So then that scared me a bit too. And I started thinking about Kim and the kids and like shook me up. And I got teary as well, which was weird because then I fucking warmed up. Like when all that happened, I was starting to warm up. And have you ever done anything where you fucking like properly got to convince yourself to do it? Because like I didn't know if that was going to kill me going to the next step or if that was going to save my life. And then so you're calculating all that and then having to have the guts to actually jump into the next chute of water and go down. Man, I just remember just fucking doing it. And I jumped perfect. I landed on the backpack. I put all the weight on the backpack, slid into the next bit, just like pumped with adrenaline, right? So I'm not even feeling the cold at this point because adrenaline's just going sick. And I end up going down a bit further and then I could just hear this like deafening sound of water. And I'm like, fuck me dead, like what next? Because constantly it seemed to be like, what next, what next, what's next? And I hear this deafening sound of water and I get to the fucking edge and it's like 400 yards. Straight down.
Oh my God.
And it's just like then it was like, no, there's no going any further. You're like, to go further is definitely deaf. You need to work something out here, you know. And it got to the point, it takes a lot of courage to even be like, I need someone to save me.
I can't imagine riding a fucking bull. That was one times on Fear Factor where I told the producers, don't do it. Don't do it. I got there and they had one of the girls was like 98 pounds, this tiny little lady. And they had her riding this bull. I go, dude, don't do this to these people. And the stuntmen are some of the hardest dudes you will ever meet. Those dudes are not worried about broken bones. They break them all the time. They're not worried about shit. So they're not worried about themselves getting injured. They take precautions. You know, they're professional, but they're definitely not worried about these fuckers getting injured either. They don't want them to get injured, but they'll put them in danger.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are fucking bulls. And the stunt guy, he was hilarious. He always had a dip in his mouth, and he was on set so often that he stopped spitting his dip because he couldn't like carry around a cup, so he just started swallowing it.
Yeah.
So he swallows his dip. What kind of a man is just there swallowing dip for decades?
There's a lot of them.
That kind of dude.
Yeah.
And so he was like, don't worry, boo, they're stunt bulls. I go, they're stunt bulls. I go, does that bull know he's a stunt bull? I bet he thinks he's a fucking bull. I bet he has no idea what a stunt bull is.
There's just, I'm sure with fighters too, there's just this, once that sport grabs a hold of your soul, it's so hard to let it go.
And it's the most exciting moments of your life is winning and competing. And I think it's very hard for them. And it's also hard for them because their identity gets wrapped up in being a fighter. A lot of my friends that have retired, they really struggle like trying to figure out who they are afterward.
Like they love the thrill of that fight. And I'm sure like a fighter that is just, they're just hungry for it.
Once they get to the highest level, I mean, that is who they are. If any of those guys could do, I mean, movies are always looking for like a real hard-looking cowboy motherfucker, and Donald's that guy.
She gets like served food at a restaurant, and she's like, "I told you to make it a girl, make it gay." It's hilarious. It's so well done.
Yeah, how did they people that are that goofy get in control of media like that?
I think that like I think we're gonna look back at this time and go like, remember when we thought 300 comments on Twitter represented everyone?
Right.
Remember when we had that confirmation, but we got scared of a bunch of tweets, half of which might just be bots or truly crazy people?
The Joe Rogan Experience.
When do you think the first news arrived of this catastrophe? July 4th. July 4th, 1876, the 100th anniversary of the approval of the Declaration of Independence, our 100th birthday. News arrives of this crushing of Custer. The nation, the military, was not going to let that stand. So this was part of the reason that there was this extraordinary effort, to destroy these people. So they very quickly broke up into these constituent bands and tried to get away as best they could. And less than a year, they were defeated.
And you talk about what happened after that in your other book on the Nez Perce. I worked with her back in the day in the early UFC.
Well, if you know anything about her journey with Lyme disease and chronic viral infection, I mean, she really struggled and ended up healing herself. It was life-changing for her. And she was like, look, there's not a single compound known to mankind, not one. If you can't make this conversion, you have a deficiency. It's this deficiency that leads to the most common ailments that we suffer from. So that process is called methylation. And there's several genes that govern it.
The famous phrase coming from Colonel Pratt, who was the one who founded Carlisle, was kill the Indian to save the man. They didn't kill the Indian. It created this sense of common identity. But we all have this common problem that we're facing, these common difficulties. Just like on a smaller scale, when these bands decide to join and unite in order to fight the military, now on this much larger continental scale, Indians from all over, native peoples from all over the nation, now begin to see that they are related in their circumstances, not by blood. The Nez Perce were this extraordinary people in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, Lewis and Clark had been the first Americans, the first white people that they had ever seen. They were starving, and the Nez Perce took them in, saved them, helped them get some horses and canoes to keep on their way. As their land was being overrun, as these appalling treaties were being forced upon them. And then finally in 1877, the government said, okay, they had to cross the Snake River at its highest point, somehow get their families, women, children, kids, old folks, across this river to gather, to go into this reservation. They had to leave their homeland that they had known for generations. They had to cross the Snake River at its highest point, somehow get their families, women, children, kids, old folks, across this river to gather, to go into this reservation, end of a way of life. Even though the treaty that required them to do that was a fraud. And on the eve, literally the day before they were to go on to the reservation, to be forced onto the reservation, these young men sort of snapped. And these young men took off and killed a bunch of white folks, that they had grudges against. That then triggered this war, triggered this larger outbreak against whites.
You were telling us about the South Park thing?
Oh my God, dude. Jamie, have you seen the new South Park?
I definitely saw clips of it.
It is so funny. First of all, Cartman has been replaced by a black trans woman in the ulterior universe or whatever. And the whole thing, it's really incisive commentary. Obviously, they always do such a good job with this.
It's the Panderverse, which is hilarious. It's such a great name.
All the handymen are the richest people because no men know how to do anything anymore because they went to college. So it's all about how college has made us stupid, and we need handymen to do everything now because we're using Siri and whatever. So there's the handyman bought Instagram and now is like going to space because he's just a billionaire. And then Cartman is is it Catherine Kennedy who runs Disney? But ran Lucasfilm and whatever, and her whole thing is just make it a girl and make her gay. Make it a girl and make her gay. For every movie they're pitching. And
And it sounds weird, but you're calculating everything as you're going, So it's like, this is the best place to jump down because if I did fall, at least I'm landing in water. Man, I hit this rock and my feet come out from under me that far and it pulled me under. I was just like stuck in this little canyon in the water and I literally had to come up with the guts to be like jump into the next water chute, which is just like a slide cut out of the rocks from the water running down there for fucking millions of years. Like, this is where you don't get to see your family again. Or you don't get to do any of this again or live life, just fucking get up and do something. And so I start grabbing like rock and I was like, holy fuck. Anyway, what I didn't realize was the rock that I was jumping down onto had actually quite a bit of a slope to it and it had like clear ice, a layer of clear ice on it. Oh. And you got to remember, I got this chamois in my backpack and friggin' a wet everything because I packed up in the wet, so the pack weighs a lot. And it weighs a lot anyway because you're going back for like 14 days. Man, I hit this rock and my feet come out from under me that fast that like it was just like full chest weight on the rock, bang. Started sliding off the rock backwards, so I'm on my stomach, sliding backwards, legs going first. And I slide off the back of that rock and I got a heavy backpack on. So it just pulled me. I just started plummeting down to this ice cold water. And like, back neck first, straight into the water. And I just remember hitting the water. It pulled me all the way under.
Talcum powder is still an ingredient in a number of cosmetic brands. As recently as November of 2020, a study found that 14% of the talc-containing makeup tested contained asbestos. That's wild.
Can I tell you, a lot of my girlfriends, when they act insane, I ask a couple questions. I'm like, what birth control are you on? And what hair products and makeup are you using? Because you're just putting chemicals in. I mean, your skin's your biggest organ, right? And you're just, the amount of chemicals women just put on their bodies, in their bodies.
They knew for decades that asbestos lurked in its baby powder.
I was thinking because, like, you can see so much carnage online now. Like, in my algorithm, I guess, I don't know, enough comedians sent me videos of people getting murdered and shit.
Yeah, my algorithm is terrible.
It's just, like, butts and, like, car accidents and how the Disney castles are made of dicks. Like, that's basically...
Is that from Tripoli?
Did you know that Tripoli has 12 podcasts?
Yeah, at least.
I'm going to give birth, oh no. And so, yeah, so Tripoli sends me all this stuff. But yeah, the Disney castle's being made of dicks. It is a compelling case, but I think it was probably more that they didn't pay their animators, and the animators were like, fuck you guys, we're just going to make
I'm not totally aware of that one. I think, I don't remember it. Let's pull
Disney
that one
castle's
up.
made of dicks. Let's go. I'm about to get
there's a lot of wild stuff from the old Disney stuff. You go back in the old Disney,
yeah.
you're like, you guys should probably bury this.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So I feel like there's like a backlash happening, you know? I feel like it's interesting, like being pregnant, I've started getting like obsessed with, you know, everything you put in your body, you know? And just the idea of just drinking water is like a full-time job. I'm like, where am I getting my water?
Right.
I got it because it's either my choices are fluoride or microplastics. And I'm not having a baby with a small taint. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. Did you ever check yourself for phthalates while you were...
Shit.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Where do I do that?
Too late.
I did the tally age test, the biological
different.
age. Oh.
Phthalates are microplastic. It's like chemicals that leach out of plastics. How is the money allocated, and where does it go, and how does Hamas get their hands on the money? Like, what's the expectations when they're giving this money? And how, I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
If they know that it's going to Hamas, why are they still sending money?
Well, in part because that's the purpose. So the U.S. funds, say the U.S. says, okay, this year we're giving whatever, $400 million through these various aid organizations. Now, the aid organizations at some point on the ground, right, have to make a difference, right? They have to. So money has to go somewhere. It has to go to middlemen. It has to go to somebody running a business who's then going to provide resources, whatever that is, grain, something, whatever, transportation, trucking to move things around Gaza, whatever it is.
So if someone is out there that does run an industrial farm and is sort of tortured by it, that they're aware of the consequences of what they're doing, and they would like to maybe admire what you've done and like to move in that direction.
Well, since you mentioned it, Gabe and I we're both in about the same age. We're both industrial farmers that went this route, and there's some great regenerative farmers out there, but there aren't a tremendous number of them that used to be an industrial farmer. There's just not a lot of that.
How many industrial farms are there in this country?
Oh, I have no idea. A lot. I mean, a lot less than it used to be because they've consolidated and gotten so much bigger. But I don't know that number.
And I don't want to. I'm not equating Hamas necessarily to a mob, but it's kind of what they've been doing. And so now the money that comes from Iran, that's a different. That's
direct to Hamas.
That's direct to Hamas. Again, they take their cut, right? Hive it off, but then they spend it because they're beholden to Iran. They spend it on what they're supposed to, which is, you know, more weapons, more gear, paying their fighters. And so, yeah, I keep coming back around to this notion that, you know, the Palestinian people have been getting screwed, you know, left and right. There's no doubt about it, right? And civilian casualties are tragic and sad, right? But we live in a very pragmatic world, you know, hopefully. We shouldn't imagine that Hamas is... They're not like Al-Qaeda. They're not sitting in a cave somewhere, right? They've been doing this for a while. And, you know, it's a bit like the IRA. The IRA started out with a very clear mandate, right? Eventually, an element of it was just about drugs and guns and, you know, money. So, yeah, I keep coming back around to Hamas. They realize they got a good thing going, right? Stability is not going to keep that gravy train running.
So it's just a really incredible system when you start pulling the layers back on it.
And there's a demand. That's the other problem. It's like you're not going to get them to stop doing that. There's a massive demand for all this food.
Yeah.
And most people listening to this are part of that demand. Most people listening to this have stopped at a fast food burger place this week and picked up a product of this system.
Yeah.
And they want to be able to do that. If you're hungry and you're on the go and you want to be able to pull into a drive-through, get a cheeseburger and some fries and a soda, bam. It's kind of extraordinary, the system they've created. It sucks that you can't do it in a healthy way, but it's kind of extraordinary that you can just pull into someone and get 1,000 calories like that. if you look at people that are poor that rely upon this kind of food all the time, those are the people that have the worst health outcomes because they're eating stuff that doesn't have any nutrients in it. It's terrible for you. It's filled with seed oils and bullshit and preservatives. And I'm sure you've seen those. They've done these little tests where they've taken a McDonald's cheeseburger and just sit it on a shelf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For like weeks, and nothing happens to it.
Yeah.
You could probably eat it, which is so insane.
That's crazy.
I mean, you could sit it for weeks.
But these companies, as bad as this is, these companies have done what the public told them to do. The public has said we want food cheaper, 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 cheaper,
Right.
cheaper.
Cheaper, quicker.
And
Consistent.
I was thinking because, like, you can see so much carnage online now. Like, in my algorithm, I guess, I don't know, enough comedians sent me videos of people getting murdered and shit.
Yeah, my algorithm is terrible.
It's just, like, butts and, like, car accidents and how the Disney castles are made of dicks. Like, that's basically...
Is that from Tripoli?
Did you know that Tripoli has 12 podcasts?
Yeah, at least.
I'm going to give birth, oh no. And so, so Tripoli sends me all this stuff. But yeah, the Disney castle's being made of dicks. It is a compelling case, but I think it was probably more that they didn't pay their animators, and the animators were like, fuck you guys, we're just going to make
I'm not totally aware of that one. I think, I don't remember it. Let's pull
Disney
that one
castle's
up.
made of dicks. Let's go. I'm about to get
There's a lot of wild stuff from the old Disney stuff. You go back in the old Disney, and you're like, you guys should probably bury this.
Brutal.
Just toxic waste.
Which is sad because that waste is what created that topsoil at White Oak Pastures. It's just we took the livestock off of the land. We decoupled what had been coupled for millions of years.
So these are these lakes. Now, here's the question. Why can't they take that waste and redistribute it into the land and use it for fertilizer?
And there's some of that done, but it's expensive.
Like being pregnant, I've started getting like obsessed with, everything you put in your body, and just the idea of just drinking water is like a full-time job. I'm like, where am I getting my water?
Right.
I got it because it's either my choices are fluoride or microplastics. And I'm not having a baby with a small taint. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah. Did you ever check yourself for phthalates while you were...
Shit.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Where do I do that?
Too late.
I did the tally age test, the biological age. Oh.
Phthalates are microplastic. It's like chemicals that leach out of plastics.
I mean, I for sure got them. Funny. First of all, Cartman has been replaced by a black trans woman. in like the ulterior universe or whatever. And the whole thing, it's really incisive commentary. Obviously, they always do such a good job with this.
It's the Panderverse, which is hilarious. It's such a great name.
I think the security side of things, by doing that, by limiting who knows about the operation, and because again, you could legitimately argue the political leadership of Hamas, they had a sense, I'm sure at some point they approved a large-scale operation, but the people who really knew about this were the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, which is an organization with the Iranian regime, and they're kind of the liaison partners for Hamas and Hezbollah. They manage a lot of the training issues. They funnel a lot of the money that goes to these organizations that are Iranian proxies. And so you can count on the fact that a limited number within the IRGC were aware of the planning and the training because they did train Hamas operatives in Iran prior to 7 October.
So I bet it will. I mean, what's going to change? 5 years. Says she's inspired to carry out the experiment after seeing an old burger being showcased in her doctor's office. And so she set this burger down and just left it out there for 5 years, and that's what it looks like. Hi, Megan. Kind of crazy, but also disturbing if you eat that. Like, what is that doing to your gut microbiome? What is that doing to your health? I mean, the preservatives have a consequence on your health. The eating stuff that, we were talking about dog food earlier. and I feed my dog raw food. And I just started feeding him raw food about 6-7 months ago, and it's embarrassing to me that that's the case, because I always just thought if you go to the pets, I didn't think about it.